just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. World is hell, long journey to the capital city. It's a long week while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be alone. Maybe after I hope and pray that I'll be. But today I'm just with you.
Good morning. This is Bill Scher on the LiberalOasis radio show. And this is not how I thought this political week was going to go. I was so close to being right again 2 weeks in a row. Almost, people. You would think that if John Kerry could accumulate a bandwagon effect after winning Iowa in 2004, you would think Barack Obama could do the same. But Barack Obama was not up against a Clinton. And as we have learned time and time again, the Clintons are tenacious. So now, I had said earlier, regardless of how you feel about Obama or Clinton, and there are certainly legitimate reasons why you could support either, but I would have thought at this stage of the game, after Obama had the delegate lead that he had, the streak of wins that he had, the mathematical, the near impossibility that Clinton could surmount Obama's lead in delegates, that the voters of Texas and Ohio would not want to affirmatively decide to have a divided brokered convention. They would prefer not having a divisive contest throughout the spring and summer and would choose to unify at that juncture. But I do not believe, well, obviously it didn't happen, and it doesn't seem to me that that really factored in so much into their thinking. And perhaps that is somewhat of a fault of the Obama campaign. They couldn't somehow slip that into the discourse. Hard thing to talk about overtly. You want to talk about issues, of course. But that's not what happened. And so now we are on a path to a divided convention. It is much, much harder to see what could happen that would force either candidate out. Even if Clinton has an amazing run in April and May and June, Obama would still have more delegates, and it's hard to walk away from a nomination when you have more delegates. And if you're Clinton and you're even splitting with Obama down the line, which I think is more likely, that gives you enough justification to say, hey, I'm still around. I'll try to sow more doubt about Obama with the superdelegates and see if I can pull this out. So that's where we are. I was just chatting with Mr. Bill Dwight in the studio before walking in here, and he said to me, why are Democrats just delicate flowers? Why is it Republicans can beat the crap out of each other and Democrats get all squeamish at the notion that this is going to play out for longer? Well, here's the problem. Now, I think it's been a good thing that it's going out this long, particularly because you have a candidate like Obama who is relatively new to the national stage. It's worth seeing if he can handle the rigors of a campaign, make sure he's battle-tested, raise all the things that could be raised, see how he handles it. I would say for the most part he's handled them very well. Maybe not flawlessly. You could certainly point to some examples before Texas and Ohio that could have been handled a little bit better. But on the whole, I would say that his campaign has had far fewer mistakes than the Clinton campaign, which I would not have expected last year when Clinton seemed to be doing things flawlessly. But the standards are different. When you're the new guy, you got to be as close to perfect as possible when you're running against a more established, familiar figure. So any misstep on his part gets magnified. And he's got to deal with that. It is what it is. So why is it problematic to keep going? Well, part of it is that both parties got cute with the calendar. It used to be that the primary season started later, more like in February. It would go through June, and then the first conventions would be in July. Now they're starting the primary season much, much earlier, top of January, and they push the conventions all the way to the end of the summer, right around Labor Day, realizing that conventions have become far less about an actual convention and more about a show, and it gives you a burst of momentum into the final sprint to the general election. So let's just time that better to maximize the political boost that you get. And also, if you were getting federal matching money through the public financing system, you would be able to use that money over a good chunk of money over a shorter window of time. Now it's unclear if either McCain or Obama are gonna or Clinton would use that system, but if it happened, that would also be a benefit. Instead, when you have a protracted contest now, the last primary is going to be in June, you're going to have 2.5 months with things unresolved. And if you have a floor fight at the end of August, it is an unknown how that is going to impact the 2-month sprint to the general election you're going to have after that. So it's an unpleasant development, particularly in a year where things look so good for Democrats generally.